feel like a lot of the privileges and everything like that go to Ontario, Quebec, that side of Canada. Don't really come out here much.
The Liberals seem to care about Eastern Canada more than they do Western Canada. That's the main thing, right?
You guys feel forgotten about?
Yeah, we do.
My husband works and he loses, they take almost 50% of his checks.
Alberta has a very good economy, a very strong economy, like the oil and everything like that, right? We should get more out of it.
We are headed to the land that loves their beef, and I'm talking about Alberta. Guys, we're going to Calgary. It is no secret that people in Alberta love the Conservatives. Most people. I mean, I got my stats here, but in the last election, 30 of the seats in Alberta went to the Conservatives. Only 2 went to the Liberals, and another 2 went to the NDP. We also know that Alberta has a Conservative Premier, Danielle Smith. She's been super vocal about her support for Pierre Poilievre. But I think what a lot of people want to know is, why do people in Alberta feel the way that they do? What is the rationale behind it? And that's what we're going to ask people. We know that they're impassioned, they have a lot of passion. We have a microphone and we are going to listen and not judge. Hi, where can we get a cowboy hat?
Ah, good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can I have yours?
No, you cannot.
No? You don't want mine? This one's from Toronto.
Is
Yours
it?
Yeah,
Toronto. I don't know. It's the center of the universe, right? So.
Yeah. Hey, what's wrong with Toronto? You don't love Toronto?
Oh, well, That's where they decide who the prime minister is going to be.
Well, this is why we're here. We're actually, we just came from Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're in Calgary.
Yes.
We're going to be talking to people about the election, how they're feeling.
Ah.
How you feeling?
I'm worried
You're worried?
Yes.
Why?
that the Liberals might get a majority.
Oh, you don't want the Liberals to win? Alberta's a conservative place.
It is, yeah.
Why? What is the feeling behind that?
That's just because, the Liberals seem to care about Eastern Canada more than they do Western Canada. That's the main thing, right?
You guys feel forgotten about?
Yeah, we do.
We're just here to humanize the conversation. We're not taking a stance. We just want to hear how people feel. But hearing somebody say, we feel forgotten.
What do you think she meant by that?
I think she feels like, and I used to live out west for a little bit, right, when I started my career here, and I think, Toronto, Montreal are the two biggest cities in Canada, right? And it's historically where the country started, right? That's where the country started, in Ontario and Quebec. And so a lot of power is centered in those two provinces. And so when you live in a province like Alberta, for example, and you don't get as much attention, right, as those two provinces, it might be easy for some of your problems that you have or issues that you're facing to be overshadowed by the loudness that happens in Toronto and the loudness that happens in Montreal. I don't know. When she said that, it almost felt like she was saying she feels like an outsider. And I don't know. I feel like anybody who's ever felt that way can relate to that. Just to relate to that feeling. My hope for today is that we create a safe space to hear from people in Alberta about why they feel the way that they feel, and maybe we can get a bit of understanding. And again, it's the BG Show. We don't judge here. We just want to listen. We want to hear what people are feeling, why they're feeling the way that they're feeling, and go from there. Thank you, A, for driving us.
Thank you. Welcome to Calgary.
Thank you. We're excited to be here. We're actually traveling the country, stopping in different cities.
And how long we are staying in Calgary?
Less than 24 hours. We're gone tomorrow.
But it's good. You came in the good weather. Today is it's gonna be 24.
24 degrees?
Yes, it's gonna be good.
24?
Yes.
I didn't pack for 24.
Yeah. No. The weather is nice. Don't worry.
Okay.
24 is perfect.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll take it. Listen, why am I complaining?
Yeah.
So Abdel, we're actually trying to get a sense from people, less than a week before Election Day. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I already choose what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and which way are you leaning?
I'm liberal.
Liberal? And why the liberal?
Because I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. You're the first person to say that so far to us today. Everybody's been saying conservative.
No, because because I'll tell you why. Since they take the leadership when the Liberal go back, everything is like changing. Everything is getting expensive more. Okay, first things they do, they took the subsidy for the kids. So I was paying for my subsidy almost like $50. When they took it, I pay now more than $500 in 2 weeks, in 2 months.
And this was in Quebec.
In here, in Calgary.
here. Oh, okay.
So the first things they do, that's the first thing. Second things, what they do, now they are trying to take any money they wanna, like affordable, they take it out now.
And who takes it out?
The conservative, they are taking it. So they wanna make every people like the same. It's good things, but one person is getting $1 million a year, and one guy is getting 30,000 a year and why should I go to, and they make them equal? Like before, I pay for my daycare $50. The person who's getting $1 million a year is paying $1,000. So now we are all equal. We pay $500. Why should I pay $500 and that guy is making $1 million a year, and I'm making 30,000 a year? So why?
So you feel like it's
So this is the
unequal?
first things.
Okay.
Second things, they make it very hard for everyone. Like just now, I took a lady to the airport. The first customer that I took it to her. They deport her husband from U.S. He was there for 7 years with her. They are married. They have kids, and they just come and they take him out from U.S. So the only hope they was having to come to Canada. Canada was like just like 6 months ago. It's easy to make a visa or anything to here, but for them now that it's making it hard. They cannot stay here. They need to pay almost like she told me over 100K if they want to have the visa, because they are over 100 years old, 40 years old. So why should I make that one? So it's like, why should I go with conservative? Why? Give me just one reason that it will make me to go with conservative.
Well, I don't have any reasons for you. I just want to hear how you're feeling.
Yeah, that's the things that I'm telling you. So the conservative, their goals to save money, to make the country. But since Canada started, they never made it. They made it only once. They said to fix the budget. They fixed it once. I don't know which year, but they fixed it once. But they are killing people. People now, they cannot. I know some people, they cannot survive. They don't have food to eat. They just go to food bank or all these things. Or people, no jobs, nothing. So why should I go with it? At least the liberal, they are helping. Even one more things. Even I heard some things that they are talking only about what's called the child care, to make it same. Instead, like now I'm getting $700 for one child. If the conservative take them, maybe I would get like $300 or $200. You got me? So that's the reason why.
So you trust the Liberals more than the
Yes.
Conservatives? So you want to see Mark Carney win?
Sure. That guy, he helped so many times, and he made very good choices in the past. Pierre, he don't have any experience. He's just talking. He always, when I see his like videos or anything, he just attacking the liberal. I never see him put like, this is what I'm gonna do, or this is what we are going to do. It's nothing.
Calgary, you know, people here in Calgary
Like
might
most of
buck
the
the
people that I
trend.
know, most of the people that I know, most of the people, like 90% of the people that I know, most of them is going with the liberal.
Here in Calgary.
Yes. Yeah. It's all of them, because we trust them more. That's the thing.
Were you previously a conservative voter in the past, or were you always liberal?
No, to be honest, like when the conservatives start talking and everything, we trust them. I was 100% going with conservative, 100%. But when they start cutting us, like cutting the subsidy, cutting the child benefits and all these things, we got back. 100% we was going with them. But when we see that these things starting like cutting this one, you see them that they don't have like something. We didn't see any vision that this is what we are going to do. I just see that they are attacking Trudeau on all the video that I was looking. But when it's come to the real things, we start like last 1st April, they call us. This is what happened. There is no more subsidy. This is how much you are going to pay now. So why? That's so bad. So that's why we get back.
What's your prediction for the election?
What do you mean?
Who do you think is going to win?
As I say, it's Liberal, 100%. That's what I
You're
believe
confident
and
the
trust,
Liberals are going to win?
because I have like some friends in Quebec. I have some friends in BC, and as I say, 90% of the people that I know, it's like going. Even sometimes I'm chatting with some customer. Most of them they are saying Liberal. Here in Calgary, yes, but I don't know in other province. And I hope they do it. I hope so. Yeah.
We are in downtown Calgary to talk with people from Alberta as we're less than 1 week away from Election Day. We all know Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives are very popular here. So we want to ask folks, why is that? Also, what are the big issues facing people in this province and how are they feeling? Let's go find out. We're visiting from Toronto. And we're literally going to cities all across the country. Okay. Less than a week before Election Day. How are you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. I can't vote though, yeah.
Why can't you vote?
I just did my Canadian citizenship right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been an international student, did the whole process with PR and everything. So I just followed the elections, but no,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
So you can't vote right now, but you live here in Calgary?
Yes, I do live here in Calgary.
What's the sense like? Like, how are people feeling? Who are they kind of leaning towards?
I think being like one of the popular city in Alberta, and Alberta being like an oil and gas, how would I put it, oil and gas province. Basically, most people will lean more conservative, but also like this is a kind of election where the population right now is a lot of, what would you call millennials and Gen Zs. So it's like, I would just say most people can also go for Carney because, what he's promoting as well.
Yeah.
But in my own opinion, I think you want to go conservative. Yeah.
What do you think about Mark Carney?
I think for me, my own personal belief is that I can't put my trust in a politician that his family doesn't live in the same country, right? I think I heard his family lives outside of Canada, so a lot of things that he's going to do, I think he's not going to consider the fact that, he doesn't have family here, so it doesn't affect them directly. So my point is that, like, with his agenda, I'm not too sure what he's trying to achieve or how he can achieve what he's trying to do. Like with reducing oil and gas or, trying to make things less, I guess, increase carbon taxes and all this kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Pierre Poilievre?
For me, I think he's somebody that has some plans. He has an agenda. He wants to cut down on crime. He wants to kind of like reduce the cost of living in terms of housing and everything, which are great things, I would say. And also, like, I like the fact that he's promoting Canada first, kind of an idea that, with the whole tariff situation, like trying to put Canadian products first or figure out how we can increase our trading abilities than just with the US. So that's kind of why I'm leaning more. If I could vote, I'll probably have voted for him. Yeah.
What are the top issues affecting voters here in Alberta?
For sure, housing.
Housing is a big one?
Housing is a big one. Like,
Yeah.
I have a house that I currently own. Well, I don't own it fully, but basically I don't live in it. It's more of an investment property. When I bought this house, I think it was worth maybe $450K. By equity now, it's like normally that same house, if I had bought it today, in today's day, it would have been maybe around $750,000. So I would say maybe probably housing for sure. It's a big thing.
But you're winning.
I guess, but the way I think about it is that it's good for me to win,
Yeah.
but you would also want it to be a balanced situation for the entire society, kind of a thing, right?
That's really, really admirable that you're thinking about
Oh
others.
yeah, because like I have friends that ask me all the questions that, is it better to rent a place or to buy a house? I tell them all the time that my own prerogative is that if you're not going to buy a house for investment, don't do it. If you're going to buy a house, let it be more like, okay, you are married and you already have kids. It makes a lot of sense to now expand in that direction. But if you're not going to buy a house for the sake of an investment property, don't do it. It's a lot of challenge and headache. Yeah.
3 words to describe people from Regina.
Regina? I've never been there before, but that's Saskatchewan, right?
Yeah.
Very friendly, I would say.
Okay,
I'm a Nigerian
Yeah.
by nationality. I have a couple of friends that went to school there,
Yeah.
so I would say very friendly. I would say, and it's close knit because of how I think it's very flat per se. So a lot of people are like very connected by school. So I would say very friendly.
Friendly.
From what
All
I've
right.
heard, yeah.
Thanks so much, Tommy.
Yeah. Have a nice day, guys.
It's really tough for me because I'm really impressed with Carney right now, and I know that the PCs are already mostly more popular in most of Alberta, anyways. But
Yeah, the Conservatives are really popular here.
yeah, and always have been.
Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. It's just the way it's been because PCs have been more pro-oil, and that's a real concern these days with the way things are, especially with the states.
What is a top concern for people who live here in Alberta?
Well,
The top issues.
Well, that's the problem. I keep hearing about Calgary separating and joining the states, and it's like, no. 70. Okay, I've heard 30% of people would consider that. Well, I just don't. I think the other 70% say not a chance in hell. So,
Wait, you said 30% of Calgary?
I saw that online. I don't
Yeah.
know. It could be fake news these
Yeah,
days. You never
yeah.
know what's right and what's not. So.
That's true. But have you heard that from your own inner circle, though? That
No,
people?
not really. Most of the
Okay.
people I've talked to, they're just totally against that. I don't see that happening at all.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Smith. I don't trust hers.
But in terms of federal politics, like, what are your thoughts on Pierre Poilievre?
I do not like him.
You don't like
I
him?
don't trust him.
Why not?
I don't know. There's something wrong about him. I like what Carney's got to say. I really think that he's got a good background in finance, and he's really stood up against Trump. And,
Is that who you think you're going to vote for on Monday?
that's probably who. Yeah, probably. And I don't know. I've been a PC fan before, but I'm not crazy about Smith right now, and I like what Carney's got to say. He's been very well spoken, and he stands up to Trump.
So you're not happy with the current premier here in Alberta, so federally you're going to go the other way and vote for the Liberals?
Yeah, because I don't think that they would ever stand up for Americans trying to take over Canada. That 51st state thing, give me a break. I mean, there's more American states that want to join Canada now. There's like 10 different states that would possibly move to Canada. So, or they get a bunch of our energy and stuff like that. It's a good move for them. Is it something that Canada would consider? Don't know.
Would you say the threat of Donald Trump is the biggest deciding factor for who you're going to vote for?
Yeah, very much so. As long as we got great representation, and Poilievre, I don't know about him. He sounds like he's for Canada and stuff like that, but I just like what Carney's had to say in the last little while. He's really stepped up to the plate, and he's told Trump the way it is. So.
What's your thoughts on Jagmeet Singh?
NDP's never been very popular in Alberta.
So you don't take it seriously?
Not really. I don't think he's a contender.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
And what was your first name?
My name's Joel.
Jord?
Joel.
Joel.
As in Billy Joel or Joel Otto.
Got it.
Anyways, I'm definitely a true and born Calgarian.
Okay, amazing.
I've lived here all my life.
You've lived in Calgary all your life?
I have.
Wow, what makes Calgary so special as a city?
As a city, well, the spirit. I don't know. I live downtown, work downtown. I see the spirit of Calgary downtown, and hey, Stampede time's coming.
Yeah.
We got our patio deck set up, so we're ready to go.
When I come, I can come to your patio?
No, absolutely.
A front row seat, VIP section?
I'll do what I can.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. Oh, last question. Totally unrelated. What are 3 words you would use to describe people from Regina?
I don't know. Never been there. Couldn't say.
Couldn't say, eh?
Couldn't say.
Alrighty. We're basically traveling the country asking Canadians how they're feeling less than a week before Election Day.
I know who I'm voting for.
Who's? Oh, a little bit more to the light? Okay. It's less than a week until Election Day.
Yeah.
How are you feeling here in Calgary?
I'm pretty sure that who I'm voting for will get in,
Yeah?
which is the Liberals
Liberal?
or Conservative.
Wait, conservative? Which one?
No, the Conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah, I don't think the Liberals going to get in.
Okay. And so you like Pierre Poilievre?
Well, he's the best we got right now, I think. So, but I'm not going to vote with Liberals anymore. They're not good. I don't think they're good for us at all. So,
What are the big issues facing people here in Alberta?
I'm really not too sure, but something's got to happen. Everything's gone sky high. It's hard to have a living. Food's gone up, rent's gone up, housing. So, I don't know.
You want somebody to fix it.
I want somebody that can try to fix it anyway. And I don't think the Liberals can do it.
What is it that Pierre Poilievre has said that has made you feel like, you know what, I want this guy in?
I just think he'll do better than the Liberals. So, that's it.
And you're gonna go with that. You're going with their gut. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'm good.
I like your belt, by the way. What is that? That's a Calgary belt.
Yeah.
Is that like iconic Calgary?
That used to be the Calgary Brewery
Okay.
that they make their our alcohol.
Yeah. Do a lot of people in Calgary wear belts like that? With the big buckles and stuff like that?
Majority, I guess. I don't.
It's a style fashion out here, right?
Well, yeah. Well, it's the West.
Yeah.
Stampede.
Yeah. It's cowboy culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you so much. And your first name?
Bob.
Bob?
Yep.
And Bob, what are 3 words you would use to describe people from Regina?
I really don't know because I don't know anybody from there.
Maybe those are the words. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
How are you feeling less than 1 week from Election Day?
I'm feeling 1 week is election day.
Yeah, election day's on Monday.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
It's good. Yeah. It's good, yeah. Because we need democracy, people continue to go like that, So I like it, to support them, yeah.
Who are you leaning towards?
It's personal. It's my personal,
Yeah. But you drive a lot of people, I'm assuming, in Calgary?
Yeah, people like liberals.
People like the Liberals here?
Yeah. I spoke, lots of people told me, yeah.
Okay. Do they tell you why?
Why? Because, I don't know, they like this new prime minister, the person he's nominated.
Mark Carney?
Yeah, Mark Carney. People like he's a mature guy and experienced guy, And especially border situation.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Big thing too,
Do you think Mark Carney would be better at handling Donald Trump than Pierre Poilievre?
Yeah, I think it's better.
Okay. What are the top issues here in Alberta?
Alberta issue. I can't say much because, everybody have a different idea. Some people talk about the gas line, some people say different, I can't say other people's issues, I never talk much about that,
So we've been actually traveling the country. We were in Vancouver yesterday. Today we're in Calgary. And we're asking people, literally, it's less than a week until Election Day. How are you feeling?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know who you're leaning towards?
Yep. Do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Pierre.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 This is Pierre country out here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in Airdrie, and it's pretty much all blue out there.
It's all conservative.
Yeah.
Why? What's the, the thought process behind it?
I have no idea, but the way I look at it is the Liberals have been in control for the last 10 years, and it has been probably the worst 10 years of my adult life.
Economically.
So, yeah, economically, it's just been terrible. So,
It's been tough for you?
yeah, and when, my husband, I'm not working because I had a baby this year, but my husband works, and he loses, they take almost 50% of his checks. And it's crazy when you're struggling in that way, when you make a decent amount of money is what you'd think right? So that's why I'm voting Conservative.
How about you?
Well, Alberta's mainly Conservative.
Yeah.
I was raised Conservative. So aside from that, I think Alberta has some of the country, if not most of the country's most covenant resources. Like we provide for most of the country.
And you're talking about oil.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and everyone kind of feeds off of our resources, but Alberta still suffers. The people that work here still suffer. There's, like, even just from that standpoint, that has my vote, but also, you know, living out east, we have a higher tax as well. I think it's not just about money, it's a lot of other things. Not to get too political, but like vaccinating. So here, Danielle Smith talks about not forcing it on people. I felt like the Liberals forced us into getting vaccinated. And that felt to me like I got my rights taken away, part of my freedom taken away. I wasn't able to be there for family who were ill. I couldn't fly to Calgary to be there for my family that needed it without being vaccinated. I couldn't shop, I couldn't go anywhere. On top of like the masks, which I understand, but like vaccines is, I mean, I think that's pretty crazy.
Do you think people in Alberta still hold, I don't want to call it anger, but you maybe resentment towards how the COVID was handled?
Absolutely, because they're scared that if something like this were to happen again, that even more of their rights would be stripped. And all the things that they've worked so incredibly hard for, the families that they provide for, you know, is now being controlled. Their money's controlled, their health statuses are controlled, so many different aspects. And I think that scares people, and they don't trust their government to have their backs when it comes to their health and their freedom and their rights. And so that's a huge reason why I'd be voting Conservative this time around for sure.
I also want to talk about the economic point that you brought up in terms of oil. When we first landed, a woman in the airport told us that she feels, and people in Alberta feel like they're often forgotten.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I just talked about that with my dad yesterday. Albertans provide for so much of the country. Oil provides for so much of the country, and we're worried about climate change.
Well, we have so many resources,
So
like
many.
oil, and we're buying oil from other countries. We're not utilizing our own resources here, which is weird to me. But
Do you feel like other parts of the country, like cities like Toronto, Montreal, kind of hijack the conversation when it comes to that?
Yeah.
I think the East Coast has too many seats. They shouldn't have such a strong voice when it comes to the election. Like, I feel like that's why we ultimately have went liberal the last election, is because the East Coast just has so much like power, I guess, when it comes to the election process. So I think Alberta and Saskatchewan and BC, like, there should be more coming from Alberta, because we send so much money to the East Coast.
And what do you mean coming more to Alberta, like more support?
No, I mean, we should have more say, I guess, based on what we provide the country. We should have more seats when, like, sorry, I'm distracted.
No,
but
that's
in
okay. In the
during
legislation.
in the legislation.
In the House of Commons, you think
Yes.
there should be greater representation for Alberta?
Yeah, at least for the West Coast.
Can I ask you guys a personal question? Because you guys are from Alberta, and I know it sounds like the resource issue is a big one. Do you feel like the rest of the country isn't appreciative of, I guess, the resources that are here in Alberta?
I just think they don't know. I think people are uneducated. I wouldn't know anything about Alberta oil if I wasn't from Alberta. Nobody really talks about it out east. This is what provides for Alberta is rich in its own sense based on the jobs that oil provides. A lot of people out east, unless they're interested in something like the oil fields, they're not going to come here. They're not going to. I think it's lack of education. I think it's lack of knowledge. I don't necessarily think that they're hating against Albertans at all. Maybe the rivalry of like conservative versus liberal, sure, but But I think a lot of what divides people is just lack of education and maybe misinformation. A lot of stuff floating around the internet. And I was just telling her today, I'm sick of having conversations with people that aren't knowledgeable in what they're arguing. You know, sure, you can have a side, but why? What have you read on? Like, what makes your argument?
Well, it's interesting because we let our audience know that we're coming to Alberta. A lot of the country knows that Alberta is largely conservative, and people sometimes don't understand why. And nothing wrong with voting conservative, but I think because as a bloc, Alberta's so unified in its stance, and so people try to understand, like, why is that?
Yeah, it's also agriculture too. Like, it's oil, but it's also our farmlands.
Yeah.
It's what we provide all the way out to even Saskatchewan, past that, where it's our crops, it's our animals. It's like we're known for our beef. And we're not giving farmers even a fair shot at creating a living doing that.
And you feel like conservatives and Pierre Poilievre, they talk about those issues more than Mark Carney and the Liberals.
And protect them.
Okay.
You know?
I feel like Mark Carney wants to shut it down. He doesn't want
To shut down
Alberta
oil?
Yeah. Like, what about that pipeline?
Yeah.
He wants that to stay closed. He doesn't want any pipelines or anything like that.
Because you guys want to see more pipelines built.
Absolutely. We
Pipelines
want
are
our
better than the trains. You see the trains going through here with big oil, like so much oil in them, and if that were to have an accident, it would be way more detrimental than a pipeline.
And there was a train accident.
Yeah, I think protection for our resources is crucial. I think giving Canadians jobs through oil and what we can provide here is crucial for our economy, for people to have a rich life. And when I say rich, I don't just mean financially. I mean, we have stay-at-home moms who are comfortable raising their children. Our next generation, why is that not a priority? Why does every working household need a working mom and a working dad, and what happens to our children? There's so much that is getting away from the traditional lifestyle, and of course we want to be progressive. We want to push women in a direction where they can work if they want to and be moms if they want to. I have acceptance about all of that, but there's a reason that we have these traditions and our children are raised up in specific ways, and having moms at home, I think, shouldn't just be a privilege, And right now it's a huge privilege if moms are able to stay home and raise their babies. So, yeah, I mean, I think Albertans stick together for a reason. I think Danielle Smith is our premier, who's super strong and has changed the Bill of Rights. She's done it for a reason, and she's really trying to make people feel like they don't need to be scared living in Alberta, that she has their backs, and she's a conservative. So, I don't know. I think there's just so many benefits to voting conservative. Nothing against the Liberals or what they believe, but like she said, if I probably wouldn't care so much more if the Liberals didn't fall flat on their faces especially over the last term, when it came to the pandemic and came to taxes and all that stuff. A lot of people assume that conservative is just anti-gay or anti-abortion, and it's just so not that. There's so much more to the Conservative Party than that. And honestly, we're in a country where abortion will never ever be taken away, and gay, queer, all of that will always be accepted. So there's just so much more than that. And I think there's more of a difference.
Thank you guys for being so open and vulnerable. We're just trying to learn and share the perspective, and I think if more Canadians can hear different perspectives, then there can be more understanding. So thank you so much. Totally unrelated question. We're heading to Regina tomorrow, so we're asking people in Calgary, what are 3 words you would use to describe people from Regina?
You'll never lose your dog. Is that 3 words? Yeah.
You'll never lose your dog?
Yeah, you can watch it run away for miles and miles. Just straight flat lands.
Love it. Oh, last question. I forgot I have to ask this. If you were going to have a steak, which leader would you want joining you for a steak? A nice Alberta steak. Pierre Poilievre, Mark Carney, or Jagmeet Singh?
The answer is right in the answer of our...
Depends on what mood I'm in.
Depends on what mood you're in? What does that mean?
If I'm feeling a little feisty, maybe Jagmeet. I'd like to have a conversation with him.
What would you say to him?
A couple questions. Wow.
What would you ask him?
Why he decided to stick so close to Trudeau? Like, I want to ask him, like, he didn't do anything good. The only thing he did was for himself. Nothing good for the country. He didn't even try, really. But no, realistically, it would be Pierre. I'd like to have a steak with Pierre.
Would you buy him the steak?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's a pretty good, down-to-earth guy. He doesn't ever really have to remember what he said in other, like,
Arguments or debates.
yeah, because he doesn't lie. Like, he just tells the truth no matter what. It is what it is with him. So, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Pizza shop. Hi. How are you? I'm looking for some pizza. I'm Brandon.
Okay.
And your name is?
Dave.
Dave?
Yeah.
How long have you been running the shop?
8 years or so.
8 years, okay. May I get a slice of pizza? We're here talking about the election next week.
I'm not a politician, but I don't like.
Yeah, but how are you feeling about the election?
It's going to be in. Here is the Conservative. In Ontario, probably Liberals. So that's what it's going to be.
Alberta likes to vote Conservative.
They always vote Conservative. Always.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me why.
I like the Conservatives. I do.
What about them do you like?
Everything about them. Yet, you know, you have this country, you have to be very careful what you do. And you have to have everything organized. You can't just let, you know, it has to be organized. You can't just let everybody run around. So for me, I like the Conservative.
So in terms of the leaders, Pierre Poilievre is the leader of the Conservatives.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him?
I like his attitude. I like his views. I do.
Like in terms of, like, what about him do you like?
This country, we have to be very careful. Next door, we have a mental guy there. So you need somebody who's going to let him understand that, hey, this is the way you behave. You cannot do this, you can't do that. And I think Pierre is the only guy who can do that.
You think he's stronger at doing that than Mark Carney?
Yeah, he is. He is. It's my view. He is.
In terms of the issues here in Alberta, like, what are the big issues impacting people in this province?
The issues are you have to have somebody who, you know, you have to have a system that checks and balance. Okay? You can't just let everybody do what they want. There's a law you have to follow, and that's what I like. I like the Conservative.
Do you think they're going to win?
It's very hard to say because the population is in Ontario and Quebec. So, and the Liberals are more popular out there than here. So it's hard to say, but you never know. You never know.
You know, it's interesting because since we landed here this morning, a lot of people have told us that they feel like, you know, Alberta is often forgotten.
Yes, in a sense, yes.
What does that mean?
The thing is that Alberta has a very good economy, a very strong economy. But we're not we're not, let me see the word, we're not in charge of it per se, like the oil and everything like that, right? We should get more out of it.
And what do you mean by get more out of it?
We should be controlled more by Alberta. We should dictate the price, where it goes. And that's it.
That's a big issue here.
It is a big issue. It is. It always will be. And now's the time for the country has to come together now because we have a big problem next door. So we have to sit as one now. We have to sit as one. And all the ideas have to come together and confront Mr. Trump. Because I don't understand him. I have no idea what he's up to.
He frustrates you.
I think he's just joking, but you never know with him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other dictators started as people thought they were jokers, but in the end it came out. So we have to be very careful.
How long have you lived in Alberta?
Long time. 15 years.
So you know this province inside and out.
Well, I would like to think so.
Yeah. Do you feel like Alberta is often misunderstood across the country?
I do. Yeah. I do.
Can you help to describe that feeling for folks who are not from Alberta?
It is that, Alberta has a lot of oil. And we're probably one of the richest provinces. But yet, according to the everything is done out east. That's how they're thinking of it. Everything is done out east. We don't have a say in what goes on. So that's why people are mad. So it's up to the politicians to get together and say, okay, this is your job, this is your job, this is your job, this is your job. The provinces, okay, this is what you're about to do, and this is what you're about to do. And the people understand, but they just think that everything is being dictated from Ontario. So that's what it is. So hopefully they get organized at this election, and things will change.
It sounds like people here in Alberta want a seat at the table.
They do.
And a stronger say over their own destiny.
Yes, sure. But hopefully this election, whoever wins will understand that and go forward from there.
Do you think there will ever be a day where people in Alberta feel like the rest of Canada appreciates them?
There will be. Eventually there will be.
What will it take?
Well, it depends on the leaders. It depends on the leaders. Whoever wins the election, they have to understand the good old days are over. This is it. This is how it's going to be now. So we'll see.
Are you hopeful?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome. May I get your first name?
Dave.
Dave?
Yeah.
And what's the name of your pizza shop here?
Chicago Deep Dish Pizza.
Is it the best pizza in town?
It is, no doubt.
What's your favorite pizza to make?
Chicken. Anything that goes with chicken. I do.
Chicken and pineapple?
There you go. Anything that goes with chicken.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
We're taking a break, but I just wanted to debrief for a second because we've been speaking to a lot of people here in Calgary, and it's no secret, like, the country knows, like, Alberta leans conservative. Like, people here mostly vote conservative. But in speaking with people, there's like this common theme word that comes up all the time. And I just found it so interesting. And that common word is like, people here say that they feel misunderstood. And so what we've been doing is diving deeper and trying to find out, why is that? So make sure to keep watching because it's actually really, really eye-opening. Hey guys, you mind if we ask you a really quick question for our show? We're all the way from Toronto, so we've been going across the country. We were in Vancouver yesterday. Today we're in, where are we? Calgary. Tomorrow we're in Regina. Sorry. We're on a mission. But anyhow, we're actually trying to speak with Canadians. We're less than a week away from Election Day. Yes. We're trying to get a sense of like, how are you feeling here in Alberta?
Feeling pretty good. We've got a taste of the U.S. elections over the past little while, so it's been interesting to see the juxtaposition between kind of there and here, but it doesn't feel as divided, and people, don't seem to be as divided, I would say.
I mean, Alberta is obviously known for like leaning conservative. Are you guys leaning that way as well?
I don't know. I've gotten to a place where it's
both wings are a part of the same bird.
I say
So what does that mean?
How you can take it.
I don't know how to take it.
Well, I mean, if both wings are part of the same bird, it's like government is government. Politicians are politicians. As far as like, what they have to do to get it. I mean, personally, I'm not going to vote Liberal. We'll say.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's to each their own.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Like, most of the people we've been speaking with have said, like, they're voting conservative. They want to see, they want change here in this province. Is that something that you want as well?
I would say change is always good.
Okay.
Again, I wouldn't say I'm as informed as I would need to be.
Okay.
Again, speaking, debating, or really like, and yeah, she's American.
Okay.
We spend part-time in the States. So I live here part-time. I'm a born and raised Canadian.
Yeah.
Change is always good, but yeah, I mean, I'm not the most informed person as far as politics, and like, we try and stay out of it, but...
I see you guys are linking arms. Are you guys a couple?
Yes.
Okay. So you're from America, and your president is trying to take us over. So how does that work? How is that hurting the relationship?
It's tough. It's tougher to go back and forth, but again, it's like there's just so much division.
Yeah.
And that's I don't think that's a good thing.
We stay united. There's a lot of division, but we try to stay united and take those politics out. And that's
Take it
what
out.
I mean.
Totally.
Two wings of the same bird, and I don't need to be crying over birds.
Yeah.
So,
Can you help me understand, since you're from Alberta, like, what are the top issues affecting people that live here?
That's a good question. I mean, as I said, I need to be a little more informed.
Okay.
Honestly, it's I don't know. I mean, the markets are not in a good place worldwide. The stock market, crypto markets, it's just kind of a globally tough time.
Yeah.
So I know that's a lot of things kind of swing on that, but we got to get running. But thank you so much.
Thank you guys for talking with us.
For sure, for
appreciate it. Less than a week before Election Day. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I voted in the early polls, so it's one less thing to do on that day, I guess.
And who are you leaning towards? Like, who do you want to see win?
It's one of those things. I know it's a strategic election. People are talking about keeping one party out or the other. I'm going with the NDP. That's always who I sort of go with ideologically.
Wow. A lot of people haven't said that here
we've
been here.
No, and it's like you look at the election. I think a lot of sport's gone to the Liberals as a way to keep the Tories out, and a lot of sport goes to Tories to keep the Liberals out, and vice versa. But went to a candidates debate a couple of weeks ago. And it was at a brewery. Everybody had a good time. A lot of good back and forth kind of talk. So. Yeah, and it was a nice day like this, so it worked out very well.
How do you feel about the leaders? Like, what's your thoughts on Mark Carney?
Don't really know that much about him politically. Yeah. I mean, you look at the central banker kind of stuff, and that's I think it has kind of its own set of assumptions with it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I think he's pitching for more sort of a center-right vision than Justin Trudeau did. But we'll have to see, I guess.
You know, one thing we've been hearing, like a common thread amongst people here in Alberta, is that they feel like they're misunderstood compared to the rest of the country. Why is that?
Well, it's good. It's a good question. I mean, everybody could probably give you a different answer of it. I think here there's sort of a stock image of Alberta that, and I mean the provincial government or the party currently in power here, they like to push that out too for their own benefit. Like they say Alberta's different. Well, it's not that different than the rest of the country. I'm not from Alberta originally. I mean, I know a lot of people who move here from other places. A lot of people go to other places as well. It's every province is different, has different concerns. I think politically they get to make a lot of hay with that when they're able to, just as a way to get support for their own projects by kind of pitting Alberta against the rest of the country, and certainly against Ottawa.
Oh, so you think this is like a ploy in a way?
Not necessarily. Not a ploy. Like there are differences, but when people want to have a political project, they'll do what they can to take full advantage of it.
So what are the big issues facing people who live in Alberta?
I mean, I think affordability is a big one.
Yeah.
You can see, I don't know if you can see right over there. There's a big building going up. There's been a lot of redevelopment in the neighborhood. But if it's condos people can't afford to live in, jobs and wages keeping pace with inflation has been tough too.
Okay.
One big one here that's a bit in the background this election is energy and climate change. Again, the provincial government's very strong on the oil and gas sector. But the world's changed, energy's evolving, there's energy transition, and that's going to impact how a lot of people live and work. So that's one has gotten a lot of play. That's always a big one for me, is just who's going to take care of the workers in the future, what are people going to do for work. So
thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.
May I get your first name?
Oh, sure. My name's Rob.
Rob? Nice to meet you, Rob.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the fun question. I forgot about.
Those were fun.
Listen. If you were to have a steak dinner tonight, which of the three party leaders would you invite to dinner? Jagmeet Singh, Mark Carney, or Pierre Poilievre?
Probably have to go Jagmeet Singh.
Okay, and why?
Just Just hearing the guy talk one-on-one in small crowds seems to have a lot of cool stories and has had a fun life. Love to hear the stories on that. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh yes, we're going to Regina tomorrow. So, what are 3 words you would use to describe people from Regina?
Passionate rider fans.
That's a good one.
I hope that one's fair.
Hey guys, how's it going?
You guys?
This is a really cool shop. We're visiting from Toronto. Yeah, we've been traveling the country. We were in Vancouver yesterday. We're in Calgary today. Basically, what we're doing is like we're talking to Canadians across the country because less than a week before Election Day.
Okay.
Trying to just get a sense of like how's everyone feeling.
I don't think anything's gonna change. To be honest.
Do you want change?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most people are nickel and dimed and taxed to death, especially around here, and then it's just no way to go anywhere. I don't know. Tony, what do you think?
Are you going to be voting in this election?
Yeah.
Do you know who you're going to be voting for?
Probably Pierre.
Yeah. That's what most people are saying on the streets here in Alberta.
Honestly, switch it up and see how that goes.
What do you like about Pierre?
It's a little bit more straightforward. Has a background in politics, as opposed to like Carney, who's a banker. More of a straightforward person, which feels like I can get behind it a little bit better, a little bit more business minded. Easier to coexist with. Yeah.
You talked about obviously you want change. What are the big issues facing people who live here in Alberta?
Inflation. Inflation's hitting crazy. Taxes. Honestly, it's a lot of inflation is kind of the biggest thing I've noticed a lot. Yeah. Like I know rent prices have pretty much doubled since COVID, especially in the city. It's just insanity. I feel like opening a little more industry, getting a little bit more money in people's pockets will help bring a little more money back into the province, which would be good.
A common theme that we keep hearing from people here in Alberta is like they feel misunderstood. Do you feel that way?
Personally, I don't.
Do you feel that Alberta is misunderstood in this country?
I don't feel like misunderstood as much as I feel like we carry a lot of the country through it. Like,
explain that to me.
We're one of the only provinces that weren't in a deficit.
Okay.
Right? Like, we're funding Quebec, Ontario, a lot of those other provinces that are in deficits due to natural resources. I feel like it's not really fair to be dealing with inflation and everything like that when our province is kind of carrying a lot of the country through. I feel like a lot of the privileges and everything like that go to Ontario, Quebec, that side of Canada. Don't really come out here much, feels like.
Somebody told us when we first got off the plane that they feel like Alberta sometimes is forgotten or doesn't have a seat at the table. They want more of a voice for Alberta.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I feel like we're a little stronger at advocating that. It would be great. Yeah.
If Alberta had a stronger voice, what would they advocate for? What would you guys advocate for if you had a stronger voice?
I feel like getting paid a little bit better for our natural resources, like our oil and stuff. Alberta in a whole is just a massive natural resource mecca. Like wheat fields, oil, we have everything here. Yet we're not getting paid like we do, which I feel like we should.
Do you feel like people in other parts of the country don't understand that?
I feel like possibly they don't have as, if they're not in the know, then they might not know as much. Yeah. I haven't thought about much of that, to be honest, in full detail. Yeah.
Because there is this, perception, the Alberta is like the Texas of Canada and stuff like that. Have you heard those comparisons?
Oh, yeah.
Do you take offense to that? Do you take pride in that?
I don't take offense. How's it going? I don't take offense or pride. It's
yeah, you can come around here.
More so Like, yeah, I understand it with our whole perception of who we are as cowboys for the most part, which is kind of silly, but no, I get it. Yeah.
So what is the true identity of an Albertan?
Hard workers, for the most part, I can say. Like, I know a lot of friends and family work up north and work all day. I don't know. I don't know too much, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate, like, I think for us, it gives insight into, I guess, like, why does Alberta vote such as a bloc and always blue, always conservative? And not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we're just trying to understand, like, what is the thought process behind it?
Just so much industry here. Usually blue is a little bit more easy to work with if you're a business owner. Right? They less on taxation, less on all of that, and so I just feel like with so many businesses here and so many industries here, it tend to go that way. Yeah.
If Pierre doesn't win,
Yeah.
how would you feel?
A little bit worried. Worried. I feel like Carney doesn't really know what he's gonna do with this country. I feel like he's just a placeholder, a face.
Can I ask you one final question? If there's one thing you could say to the rest of the country who haven't been to Alberta or haven't had the opportunity to get this level of insight of conversation, like the depth and understanding, and what would you say to them? Like, what would you say to the rest of Canada about Alberta?
Come take a look. It's very diverse. Got fields, mountains, lakes, everything here. Come take a look. Yeah.
You might be surprised.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. I respect it. Thanks so much. What's your name, buddy?
Liam.
Liam?
Liam.
Yeah.
Nice
Thanks
to
so
meet
much
you.
for talking with us. You have a really cool show. Oh yeah. Sorry, a totally unrelated question. So we're going to Regina tomorrow.
Okay. Good luck.
I'm gonna ask you the question too after.
Okay,
give me 3 words to describe people from Regina.
Oh yeah. Flat. That's all I know. It's just
You're
it's
saying
so
Regina
flat.
has no body?
I drove there once and it was the worst drive of my life. I almost fell asleep 30 times. It is just so flat, so boring. I don't. Why do you live there?
So flat, so boring.
Okay.
I live in Saskatchewan.
I couldn't do it. It's.
Hey, I was born and raised.
I
This is the way
couldn't
my
do it.
destiny was.
And tell me about your shop here. Like, what is sneakers? They look at the fits. Look pretty.
Yeah, so it's vintage, streetwear, everything like that. Yeah.
How long have you been open for?
This location just over a year, and then we were further down the street for 2 years. So 3 years total in Calgary.
So you're an entrepreneur.
I just work here.
Oh, you just work here? That's okay.
I just work here.
You're talking to me like you run the shop.
No, we've just been here since they opened here.
Got it.
This location. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna check out some of the stuff here.
Sweet.
Awesome. Oh, I have one final question because I have to ask that one. If you were to get a steak dinner tonight, and you could,
I don't eat meat.
Yeah. But if you did, let's say it was a vegan steak.
What do you mean?
Like, if you entertain me. If you were to get a steak dinner tonight, and you could only invite one of the 3 main party leaders to have steak with you, Jagmeet Singh, Pierre Poilievre, or Mark Carney, who would you choose?
Probably Carney. I want to ask him some questions, like, because I feel like I don't feel like people don't know him. I feel like Pierre speaks what he's feeling, and I feel like you can get an idea. I feel like I would want to ask Carney what he's actually feeling.
What's one particular question you would ask him?
What's his plan for the country? Like, where is he planning to take us? What is he planning to do to change anything, if anything? You know? So what he will do.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Hey, it's BG, and I want to know, what do you think about what you just watched? Make sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below, but also make sure to check out even more great content like this video and this video over here. And if you haven't subscribed to the Brandon Gonez Show, do so right now by clicking this button right here.